Welcome to A Quest for Metal. Today we are ranking Drudkh albums from my favourite to my least, other way around, from my least favourite to my favourite. And before we get started with my list, let me know down below what's your favourite Drudkh albums, what's your least favourite, how do you say Drudkh? Is it Drudkh or Drudkh? Don't actually know. Let me know down below and, let's get started. This is a hard list, by the way. Too hard, this one. Every album on this list is amazing, so trying to narrow it down to just one was ridiculous. But I think we did it, and just let's get stuck in. So coming in last is Songs of Grief and Solitude, which is not really a black metal album compared to a lot of the rest. This one is kind of fully instrumental, really folky. It's not really, there's no screams in it, there's nothing like that. It's the most different Drudkh album compared to all of them, and it's not bad. It's last, but it's not bad. If you want just an atmospheric time, a relaxing time, then this album's good for you. You pop it on in the background, and it's a great time. But, for Drudkh, we want that kind of folky black metal, the atmospheric black metal. With this, it's good, but it's just not the same. So it's going to come in last, I'm afraid, but it's still enjoyable. So, I'd still say give it a listen. Coming in next is Swan Road, which is probably controversial. A lot of people like this, and it's not one that usually people have lower down, but I can't get into this one as much as the others. I do prefer it to Songs of Grief and Solitude because, there's black metal screaming, but I do think it's harder to get into. And I've not quite fully gotten into it yet. I do think it's a lot different to all the other ones, like Forgotten Legends, way different to that. Way different to Blood in Our Wells and Estrangement and all these other amazing albums. I don't know what it is about this one that I just can't get into as much as the others. And I know that's going to be a shocker for another album which will come higher than it, because people don't seem to like that one for some fucking reason. But Swan Road I think is a good album. I just don't think it's an amazing album. So tell me down below if you really love this album, what songs stand out for you the most, and I'll replay it just to see, but at the moment, it is one of my weakest. Next is A Handful of Stars, which usually people have second to last, so this is the controversial pick, but I love this one more. This is more of a black gaze kind of Alcest, kind of sound, which loads of people hated because, Drudkh is atmospheric black, folky black. Going to this black gaze kind of shoegazy sound instantly put loads of people off. I wasn't one of them. I still love that sound. I mean, Alcest is probably my second or third favourite band of all time, so, I love that shit. But I do agree with the majority that their sound is the sound of those classic albums. Autumn Aurora, Forgotten Legends, those albums. This doesn't quite meet those heights. This doesn't quite meet those heights, but it's not a bad album. People think it's a bad album, it's not. It's definitely not a bad album. It's just, in terms of Drudkh's discography, I don't think it holds a candle to any of the others. They have a lot of fantastic albums, but this one is kind of just it's good, it's different, but it's not the best. So, let's move on to the next one. Next one is A Furrow Cut Short. This is one of the longest albums I've ever done, and from here on out, it got stupid to rank them. Those ones were definitely last. Now it's stupid. Yeah? Now it's goddamn stupid. This has long songs on. This has epic songs on. A lot of two-parters on this one. I heard this with Jamie, and he loved it. And he told me, when we were listening to it, he was like, if you don't have this high, I'm fucking blocking you. Well, you're going to have to block me, because there's other albums I like more. This is a newer album, but these songs, man, they're awesome. It's one of those bands where the other albums just have so many other awesome songs on. I can't put... If I was going to rank it, if I was going to score it, it'd be a 9. But ranking it, it's coming down here. So, just like Nile, just like Death, all these albums are fantastic. Check this one out. It's heavy. It is quite a heavy album, this one. It's quite dark, and it's long. It's the longest album, so that sounds good to you. Give this one a listen. There are others which tickle my fancy more, so let's get to them. Eternal Turn of the Wheel is next. I love the artwork for this. I don't really know what's going on. There's some kind of ghostly apparition on the cover. I don't know what's happening, but I love it, and I love these songs. A lot shorter of an album, but my god does it hit. Hell yes, it's darker. This is a darker album. It's more evil. Breath of Coal Black Soil is amazing. There's only like 5 songs on here and it's like 36 minutes long, so you know they're going to be like longer songs, more interesting songs. Yeah, it's a lot shorter than the other one, but I think it packs more of a punch, so it's going a bit higher. Next up is Estrangement, which is around a similar kind of length. It's about 36 minutes long, but this is more folky. You know, I think it's less heavy. It's more folky, more in the line with like Autumn Aurora. Don't think it's quite as good, but it's up there. I mean, it's definitely an underrated one. This is an underrated album. It has that folky atmosphere. It has all the songs that you know and love from them. Solitary Endless Path, The Horizon's End. Again, it has like a closing song, which is like 3 minutes long, but the rest of them are like 10 minutes. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I love it. And it pains me to put it this low, but, you know, something has to go lower. And Estrangement's still fantastic, but it's coming down here. Next up is the one that came straight after, Microcosms, another underrated album. And the artwork, I mean, I thought I was going to get into some, like, cosmic black metal, like Inquisition with this one, but it's not. It's similar to, like, Estrangement and stuff, which is fine by me, because this black metal is amazing. Distant Cry of Cranes is a fantastic song. Ars Poetica's beautiful as well. Yeah, this is another case of an underrated album by the band, and one that I always play. I play this more than Estrangement, I play it more than all the others, so of course it's going higher. Of course it's going higher. Love the art, love the music held within. This is a great album. Next up is Autumn Aurora, which people will probably be like, rabble, rabble, why isn't it top? Rabble, rabble, should be number 1. It isn't for me, but it's a great album. It's a 10. But I do think other ones are better. This is the most folky album they've ever had. There's a lot of folky passages on this one compared to a lot of the others, which are more atmospheric-y black, but I mean, this album's majestic. It's beautiful, it's majestic, and the folky passages are just too good. Summoning the Rain, Glare of Autumn, Sunwheel, I mean, it's, you know, it's song after song, which is always a hit. They're all hits on this album, nothing is a dud. It's the most atmospheric, it's the most just beautiful album, but there's others I prefer. Just like the next one, which people will be like, what the hell is this doing over Autumn Aurora? Ah! So let's get to that. So They Often See Dreams About the Spring. This is the album that got me into the band. I got into them through this album, so this is going to hold a place in my heart, of course, because I got into them from it. As soon as it came out, 2018 I think it was, that's when I got into them. So quite recently. But this one, just the melodies in it, just the long song, the melodies in it, the swayy nature of everything. This hooked me into the band and kept me going ever since, up until now, where I'm ranking it. So, gotta give some love to this one, gotta put it high, easily make it into the top 3 because, you know, nostalgia got me into it. And if it wasn't for this album, I might not have been listening to this shit. So this album is easily one on the pedestal, going on to the number 3 spot. So number 2 is Forgotten Legends, the debut. Some people say it's a bit meandering, a bit too long, and I say, no. Should be longer songs, and just keep more melodies, longer songs. This is just a fantastic debut from the band. There's only a couple of songs on it, and they are long as hell, and they do repeat themselves, but I love that. I mean, Funeral Doom is one of my favourites, so, you know, fuck it. I love stuff like that. Love every song on this one. It's folky just like Autumn Aurora, but it's more black metal-y. This sound is probably the most black metal sound they've done, so of course I love it. It is more raw sounding, but it's still got that beauty in it. Yeah, it's the best of both worlds. This album is a fantastic, flawless 10 out of 10, easily making it to the number 2 spot. Number 1 is Blood in Our Wells. No surprise to anyone if you saw my black metal videos of Yonder, because this is in my top 20 black metal albums of all time, so of course this is going to be number 1. It is just the perfect blend between the atmospheric, the pure black, the folky black. It has everything in, you know? It's atmospheric at parts, folky at parts, it's beautiful at parts. It's everything. It's everything you could need in a beautiful package, and the art's the best. It's perfect. You know, it's a perfect album. It's about 50 minutes long, so it's another long one, so there's more bang for your buck. It's not like 30-something minutes long like some of the others. It's not quite as long as the other one we were talking about, though, but compared this to that, this has just so much more bangers on than that one. Banana Wells is a flawless album. It is my favourite Drudkh album of all time. So that was my ranking for Drudkh's albums. Let me know if I'm saying that right, because I'm probably not. Hopefully you guys agreed with some of the list. Hopefully you enjoyed some of it. Let me know down below what's your favourite Drudkh album, and we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.